Speech off.
Hi everybody, it's Beverly at Bama Blind, and I'm outside right now, and you're looking at my pretty Gretchen's profile. Today I'm going to talk about a really simple concept, but I think it might help a lot of people that are visually impaired to the point that they have a hard time moving around, whether you're a sighted guide user or a cane user or a guide dog user. I think this tip might be helpful. I learned the tip at the Seeing Eye in New Jersey, and I've not had functional mobility vision for several years before that, and I'm not a mobility instructor. So the disclaimer is this is something that I have worked out with my husband that I've walked with many years as a sighted guide. And it works with using a cane, walking independently, and it also works with a Seeing Eye dog because they drilled it into our heads at the Seeing Eye. And it has to do with going through doorways, opening doors and closing doors. And I think the whole point is to be more aware of where the doors are with the thresholds and the sidings of the doors, so that you as the blind person have a better orientation and can get through the door without it slamming on you. Or in my case, I'm always mortified. I'm always so scared that I'm going to hit my head on the door itself because it's at a jar. You know, it's not completely folded back against the wall. I'm always afraid that it's sticking out, and half the time it is. And the other thing that I typically have done is I will hit my shoulder on the door frame as I go through. At the Seeing Eye, there were many heavy doors. There were stairwells, there were doors going into long hallways, there were doors going outside into the courtyard, there were doors going outside into the front parking lot, and there were many heavy doors. And the first thing they told us, day 5, well, I should say day 4 because it's after we got our dogs, but before we actually went out walking. So that would have been day 3, because we had to go downstairs to the dining room, back upstairs, outside so the dogs could relieve themselves. So there were lots of door openings and closings, and every one of us was blind. So what the Seeing Eye had us do is each person went to the door, and our dogs are trained to put their nose up toward wherever the doorknob is. Gretchen's laying down now with her harness here. But the dogs are trained to point out where the doorknob is, to kind of put their nose near the doorknob. So if I follow Gretchen's head down, you know, from the top of her head down to the tip of her snout, my hand is eventually going to find that doorknob that's usually right above her nose. So that's wonderful, because prior to getting a guide dog, I would just reach around looking for the doorknob with my hand, groping around, or with a sighted guide, which was almost always my husband. We've just traveled so much together. We would be doing sighted guide, and he, as a gentleman, would go and open the door for me, and then kind of as an instinctual thing, expect me to now walk through the opened door that he just, as a gentleman, opened. And that left me using my hands and my cane, trying to figure out, well, how far is the door open? Where is the door? How wide is the door? What kind of clearance do I have? And I never knew if, okay, when a person opens the door, let's say it's my husband in this case, let's say he's opening the door, I don't know how far back he has pulled the door or been able to pull the door. not completely, certainly back so it's flush against the wall, because that's pretty awkward. Usually someone will open the door for you and it'll look very open to them, but as a blind person, 50% of the time, me or my cane would bump into the leading edge of the door, because you can't ever get oriented. So what they taught us at the Seeing Eye is very simple, is open the door. You as the blind person, find the doorknob. With a case, when you have a dog, the dog will help you find the doorknob. If you're traveling with a blind cane and you're traveling on your own, you pretty much have to reach out and feel for the doorknob and find where it is. And once you feel it, and this is the same with sighted guide. So let's say you're being led, sighted guide. Let the person with sight place your hand on the doorknob and then let your hand go. So you as the blind person are in control of the door opening from the beginning. You pass through the door and then you close the door behind you and continue on your way, whether that's sighted guide or with a cane or with a dog. And I'm telling you, if you start practicing that, you will find that you have much more confidence, or I have much more confidence in getting through door thresholds without this fear that I'm going to hit my head on the door frame or the leading edge of the door, which is, it might be opened all the way. It might not even open all the way. It might have a stop on it. It might go away from you. It might come toward you. As a blind person that can't see, you don't ever know. You just don't know those things. When you start putting your own hand on the doorknob and take control of that door and you open it, let's say you are blind and you are the gentleman, it looks perfectly socially acceptable for you to be opening the door for your sighted partner who happens to be female. In my case, my husband has had to learn, even though it's his instinct to open the door for me, he's learned if he will just put my hand on the doorknob, I can open it, pass through first, which he really likes that. Instead of me going behind him as in sighted guide, I go through first, and then he comes through the door, and I can either then take his elbow and continue sighted guide and allow him to close the door because I'm already safely through, or I can close the door myself. So I'm going to demonstrate this with Gretchen here. If I've got a couple of doors in my house that I can show this, if it's not too, if you understand it. And this is my front door. Now my front door has got two, it's an old house, so it's got two doors, and each one, they come together kind of like French doors, but they're not French doors. They're wood with half pane glass. And standing here, I can't tell you where the doorknob is. So I would have to come up with Gretchen to where the door is, find the doorknob. Here it is right here. I have to find it with my hand. Now, I reach down and I realize it pushes in, and it's also the leftmost door out of these two doors. So the right door stays fixed. The left door is opening, but it's opening in. So with a guide dog, they taught us, you walk in first as a sighted person. You don't let Gretchen, and then you turn around and you close the door. Now I've got Gretchen down here, and she's ready to lead me, let's say, to the next door. Okay, Gretchen, come on, let's go over here. Here's a door right here in my house. My house has got these big, okay, let's say I don't know that this is my house, but I know this door is closed, so it's safe. It's not, the door facing is not gonna hit me. The door is closed. And so therefore it's not going to swing open and hit me, or I'm not gonna run into it because it's open. Now, I just reached in, I turned the doorknob and I see that this door is being pushed in. So I'm able to just go through this door, hold on to it, because I'm holding on to it with the same left hand, because I'm filming with my right hand. Now, if I weren't filming, I would do all of this with my right hand. And now I shut the door. Now, that's what they taught us at the Seeing Eye. Keep the doors closed. This room, let's see, has a closet door, and then there's a bathroom door over there. So I'll try this again. Now, okay, I'm gonna come toward the door facing, find the doorknob, pull it toward me now. It's coming toward me. But if someone were opening that for me, I would have no idea, where the door is. Like right now, I don't know where the door is. It's open, it's swung. I just heard it hit the back of the wall, so I know it's fully opened. But to be safe, really to be safe, they taught us at the Seeing Eye to go ahead and close that door. Okay, Gretchen, let's go to the next door. I'm just gonna walk through my house here because I don't have anybody here helping me. Okay, here's the door right here. Forward, Gretchen, forward. Okay, I don't know if this door is open or shut. Okay, Gretchen is going through it, so it's wide open. If I didn't know my house, I wouldn't know that this door swings all the way back to the edge of the wall right here. So let me close this door. It's really hard with Gretchen because she's on leash and on harness. Okay. Now we know that door is closed because I just slammed it. And I'm facing toward it. And I'm going to walk toward it. Gretchen, let's go outside. Let's go outside. Let's go outside. Okay, because she led me right to this doorknob. Put my hand on it. Now this doorknob is on the left hand side of this door. I turn it, but the door is opening toward me, so I'm having to back up. Now, if someone had left the door open or if they were opening it for me, like in a restaurant, many times Jerry and I will go to restaurants and people will see me coming, leading with a guide dog like this, and they'll say, oh, I've got the door, and I'm stuck right here like this, not knowing, is the door all the way open? Are they standing to the left of the door? Are they, because I can hear their voice, are they standing to the right of the door? And where is the door? And then as I pass through like this, I never know that I have passed through and now I'm in the restaurant. This happens all the time when we go to restaurants, is there will be servers or greeters, and they see Gretchen and they see me, and I know they're trying to be helpful, and I don't correct them. I'm not sure if that would be the appropriate thing either, is to say, well, please, it's best that I open and shut the door, because it's just not something they're going to retain. And it's a polite thing. But now I'm going toward my front door. I'm inside the house. I'm going toward my front door. Okay, Gretchen, let's find okay, here's the doorknob. And again, these doors here, I wouldn't know this except for it's my door. They're 22 inches wide. So when I open this door, and there's a stop on it. So this is as far, the door will only open, it's not even a 90-degree angle, really. And so if I didn't open that door, I I might have thought it was a 36-inch door, but if I'm in control of the door, I'm able to feel the swing. I know it's coming toward me. I know it's not going away from me. And I know that it is like a 22-inch door because I can sense that. And that means I can find this door facing on my left-hand side, and I won't hit my shoulder on that because I will know then to tighten up with Gretchen, go through the threshold of the door outside, and then reach in, grab the doorknob that I just did, and close. And I guess the point of this is try the technique. Try, if you are blind, to be the person that puts your hand on the doorknob, whether it's going into a store or a business or an office or your own home. And I'll give you a quick tip. This tip is awesome for vehicular travel. So if you can get your sighted partner, whoever is doing the driving for you, even if it's Uber, I'm telling you, it is 10 times better for you to find the handle to a closed door. It is 10 times better that you then open that car door, because that tells you the orientation of the car. I can't tell you how many times on a dark night in a parking lot, and I've been with other people and they say, well, here's the car and I've got the door open for you. Well, I am mortified that I am going to crack my head open on that sharp part of the car door. I'm also usually left standing outside trying to touch the open door and say, well, is this the back door? Is this the front door? Is the car facing, toward my left, or is the car facing toward my right? And I don't get any of that information if somebody has gone and opened the car door for me. And I always am thinking that I'm going to hit my head on the door. So I promise you, if you'll get into the habit of finding the door yourself, or having your sighted guide, like if you're going to, walking through a parking lot, having your sighted guide place your hand on whatever door you're going to get into, and then just leave you there. Let you open it. Now you know the orientation. If it's an Uber, if it's a car you're not familiar with, you also now get the sense of how tall the car is, where the corner of that door is going to be, because you have opened it yourself, and you know it's not going to stab you in the brow or the eye or the temple or the forehead. And you kind of get an idea of how tall the car is, whether you need to duck down, or, if it's a low seating, or if it's high like my SUV, you have to climb into it. But I wouldn't know that unless I opened the door, because I know when I open the door, I'm touching the handle, and the handle is pretty high. So I know that's been kind of complicated. The simplistic takeaway from this video is a simple technique that we learned when we first got guide dogs at the Seeing Eye, and that is open the door yourself, close the door yourself. And it's much easier if you're blind to get through doorways and thresholds that way, rather than having someone open it for you and you trying to find the opening either with a sighted guide or a dog or with a cane. So it's just my advice. If you have a better technique, or if you know a better technique through a mobility instructor, I would love to hear it, because it can only help all of us that are out there every day doing the same things. There's no sense in reinventing the wheel, but when you find something that works, I really, really would love to share it. So if you have a special technique, not even of doors, but something else that you want to share, just leave it in the comments. And I'll be posting some more tips and information that I learned after, being blind all of my life. Not mobility wise, but certainly being around plenty of visually impaired people. There are so many things that I'm still learning to this day. So I like to share those things, and please share them with us in the comments if you have any. And I will look forward to my next vlog, hopefully tomorrow. So have a great evening, everyone, and I'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye-bye.